ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our webinar that will speak today about the incredible benefits of cacao oil. This short video will be brought to you by Arlés in collaboration with Safic-Alcan. I'm Morgane Azman and I'm in charge of global marketing for our life sciences activity at Safic-Alcan. And today we are honored to have with us Camila Barragan. Hello, Camila.
Hi, Morgane.
So, fine, thank you. Just few words to introduce you. So you're the marketing and sales director for Arlés in the EU and APAC regions. And I can tell you a bit about the background of Camila that holds degrees in business administration and international trade from Universidad de la Sabana in Colombia. And you also hold a master in marketing and sales from IEA Business School in Spain. You also have a rich background in pharmaceutical industries across Colombia, Panama, and Spain again. So you will bring to us today a wealth of knowledge about the benefits of cacao oil and also a bit of expertise on what we can do and what we can imagine with cacao oil for your all future development. So Camila, we'll leave you the floor so that you can delve into the exceptional property of cacao. Um, can you see the modification of the slides? Okay,
Yeah.
the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Morgane. So let's start. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Arlés. We are the only company in the world that has an organic and sustainable certified harvest of cacao. My name is Camila, as Morgane introduced me, and I will be explaining to you everything about cacao oil and its amazing properties. This story begins in the Amazon, where a native tree called cacao has always been part of the Amazonic flora. This is an evergreen tree that can reach between 15 and 20 meters in height, and in a harvest and in as wild conditions up to 40 meters. The fruit is this, the one that you are seeing in the picture, and one of the good things of the fruit is that you can use every single part of it. The shell can be used as an organic fertilizer, the core can be used as an excellent ecological fuel. The almond is edible and has a high nutritional value with almost a 20% of protein on the seed. And last but not least, our rock star from today, cacao oil, which is a natural oil that that has a high content of vitamin A, E, F, squalene, and esterols compared with other vegetable oils. So cacao oil is considered a treatment since immemorial time, as it has been used by indigenous groups in the Amazon as a natural treatment for burns, irritations, and scars. It has a high content of polyunsaturated fatty acids, and you know that oils that has high content of PUFAs or polyunsaturated fatty acids are really well known for playing a major role in the wound healing process. So oils with a higher linoleic acid as this oil are more effective in terms of lipid barrier repair. It's also important to mention that it's obtained by cold press extraction, and this is a really well-known method for extracting the oil from the almonds and preserving the beneficial lipids out of it without limiting the irritating process that some oils can have. Also, it's important to take into account when we compare it with other vegetable oils that it has 2 times more vitamin A than rosehip oil, and also it has 2 times more linoleic acid than argan oil. So, cacao oil is composed by a long list of different components, but today we're going to focus on the most predominant ones, which are linoleic acid, vitamin A, vitamin E, phytosterols, and squalene. It's really well known that all of these 5 components are really famous and important in cosmetic industry for all the background and scientific evidence that they already have. Now we're going to compare it and how are they present in cacao oil. For example, linoleic acid, as we mentioned before, it's really well known for helping to repair damaged skin and reducing wrinkles and scars. Cacao oil has 2 times more linoleic acid than argan oil and a higher content of polyunsaturated fatty acids compared with other vegetable oils. In terms of vitamin A, it helps to stimulate the fibroblasts and improve the production of elastin and collagen on the skin. Cacao oil has 2 times more retinol than rosehip oil and a higher content of it compared with other vegetable oils. In terms of vitamin E, It's really well known that it helps in terms of, or it gives antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties. Cacao oil has a high anti-inflammatory and antioxidant power, mainly due to the high content of gamma and alpha tocopherol. Regarding the phytosterols, we know that they're really good acting as skin and hair conditioners and moisturizers. And cacao oil has a wide variety of different esterols, such as the beta-cystosterol, campesterol, sigmasterol, and delta-5 avenasterol. And the squalene, which is really well known too, is proven to help to reduce the oxidative damage on the skin. Cacao oil has the same amount of squalene as olive oil, which nowadays is the reference oil in terms of squalene content. So we can see here that in terms of the cacao oil, only about the quantity, but also about the quality of these ingredients and the way all of them act together. So, taking that into account, we can highlight some of the most important properties of cacao oil, which are antioxidants. It also helps to act as a cell regenerator. It helps to be as a skin conditioner, works as an emollient. It's anti-itching, anti-aging, anti-inflammatory, and skin repairing. Now, it's important to mention that during all this process, we have tried the oil in different clinical evidences, as we are going to see now. The first two pictures are a case of atopic dermatitis. So this was a 28 years old man that had dermatitis all along his scalp, his head, and then he applied during 30 days, 2 times a day, cacao oil. All of these evidences that we will show are using 100 purely cacao oil, and you can see how the change the change of the scalp of his head. The second case is the situation of psoriasis. In this case, you will see a man that had a long plaque of psoriasis in the lumbar area, and then he used cacao oil during 51 continued days, 3 times a day, and this was the result of the skin. So it's important to mention also that we are not saying that cacao oil heals conditions such as psoriasis, because you know that this is a chronic disease. However, it helps a lot to alleviate the physical symptoms of it. In this case, you will see that the inflammation almost disappeared, but it's still there a little bit. Now, regarding scars, here there's a case of a man that had a scar after a lumbar hernia surgery. He applied cacao oil during 4 months using purely cacao oil 2 times a day, and this was the change. So you can see that it's barely here, but it's barely visible, as I was mentioning. So it's really, really good how it can help to renew the cells in cacao oil. And the other case that we have is an example of burns. So there was a patient that had an injury with dermapen. She used cacao oil during 25 days, 2 times a day, and this was the change. So it was the cell renewal process went better with the usage of cacao oil. Now, we have also some efficacy tests that proves all what I'm saying. So we will see here a case of a skincare efficacy study that we did in Germany with 20 volunteers. We measured 5 different parameters: the hydration, firmness, smoothness, elasticity, and the wrinkles depth. And here we will see that every volunteer, like all of them, had an increase in the hydration, the firmness, and the smoothness, and all of them also reduced the treated wrinkles. Even if each one had a different result, all of them had a positive result. And 80% of them increased the elasticity on the skin. So in terms of the average, you will see that in the hydration, it got up to 23%, in firmness up to 14%, in wrinkles reduction 14%, in smoothness 14%, and elasticity 10%. But you will see that even in the day 14, we already have some outstanding and valuable results. Now, when it comes to the hair care study, this is one preliminary study that we're doing. The second part will come in 1 month. So in this study, we performed a study that 3 months of time, and it was done to male and female between 18 and 65 years old. So they have to use the product in a night only in a daily basis, and they had to use a product that was mixed with MCT oil and different concentrations of cacao oil. Those concentrations were distributed to different groups, and of 5 people each, and they have to apply every night 2 millimeters here in the scalp zone, and then massage the area in order to let the product dry in an easily way. Some readings were done at the beginning and at the end, and other ones were done in a weekly basis. So regarding the hair care study, we performed a study in which we measured 3 different parameters: dandruff reduction, T-wool reduction. T-wool is transepidermal water loss reduction, and the increase of shine or in the hair. In this case, we will see a picture of a volunteer that used cacao oil in 20%. So the product that every single volunteer was used was cacao oil with different percentages, as I mentioned before. But in this case, I will explain an example of one volunteer using 20% of cacao oil. In this case, you will see that the dandruff reduction went up to 90, almost 96%. So this image is the same, is this one, and this second image is the same one. So you will notice the dandruff reduction that she had. But what is even better is that cacao oil was effective in reducing dandruff, reducing transepidermal water loss or T-wool, and increasing shine since 1% up to 1% of concentration. So this is really well news. Cacao oil is effective in a low and in a high concentration. Also, it's important to mention that thanks to its anti-inflammatory effect, it also helps to reduce symptoms of seborrheic dermatitis or dandruff, for example, as inflammation, itching, or also redness on scalp. This is something that we noticed during the trial of the hair care study. And last but not least, that in every single group or in the different concentrations of cacao oil, the average dandruff reduction for all the study groups was above 80%. And now that you more or less understand how cacao oil performs, let me tell you who we are. We are Arlés. So we are the only company in the world that has a certified harvest of cacao, and that's because we do organic farming. So the story of each tree begins in the plant nursery, where each one of the trees receive the most adequate care and protection. And when they're ready, they're put it on the land, and each one of our trees have a unique chip that help us to monitor in real time all the conditions of each one of the trees. So every day, a collaborator goes tree by tree, tracking the chip and looking in real time in how the tree is in terms of the nutrients, in terms of soil's condition, working periods, etc. And we can see if the tree needs an intervention or not. Then in the last picture, we can see also that with this project, we're helping to reforest the Amazon with the plantation of the trees, as this is a native tree and we're not forcing the land to plant a tree that is not naturally part of it. In fact, here we are placing a QR code so you can scan it and take a look at it. You will have a 3-minute video with everything and all the detailed information of our sustainable and social responsible operations there. Now, here to explain you a little bit more about all the projects that we do, this is I'm going to explain you 5 different examples. So in terms of the fauna and the flora, we protect and restore the ecosystems and the species along the harvest. So we have identified more than 100 species of plants and animals around the harvest. We also work with botanical people that help us to monitor all these parts. We also work with the Sicuani tribe and with gender equality. So Sicuani tribe is part of the indigenous communities there in the Amazon, and with this, we're also helping them to contribute with their local communities and with their respective families, with great salaries and excellent living conditions in the harvest. As I just mentioned, we're helping with this to reforest the Amazon, and we also help that as long as the trees keep growing, they will capture more CO2 from the atmosphere, and as consequence, we will help to reduce the carbon. We do organic farming. Why we have received the sustainable certificates. That's why we are the owners of them. We're the only company that have them, and we don't test on animals. Also, we are inspired in the sustainable development goals. That's why we put them in practice in all of our different daily basis tasks. Now, it's important to mention this. There are 4 companies of cacao oil that produces cacao oil in the world, but we are the only ones that has a certified harvest of cacao as sustainable and organic. And this is very important because most of people tend to believe that having the certificates means that we don't use pesticides or chemicals. And this is part of it, but it's way more than this. With this, we're also saying that proving that we protect the natural ecosystems, that we're not deforesting, that we're protecting the natural forest, conserving the biodiversity, that we offer fair conditions to all our collaborators, that we have an effective planning and management in terms of all the systems and operation, that we don't discriminate anyone, that we work with soil management and conservation, and way more than this. And why it's important to say it, because probably a lot of companies can say that they do this, but to earn the certificates is the proof that all of this is absolutely true.
Thank you, Camila. And I'm sure that your company's commitment will fully resonate with everyone who hear this video. And we can feel, in fact, how much human and environmental protection can be associated with this really nice ethical business practices, which we also want to take part in. And that's why we choose you as a partner as well.
Thank you very much, Marianne. Yes, we're really excited and proud to share with this with the world. I think it has a really sustainable vision, but also the ingredient, as I explained, has an amazing properties. That's why we want to tell everyone, let's go for it and let's change the way people act. Let's change the way people, yeah, use the products.
Great. Now we can maybe dive into a more practical view. So we'll move to our formulation that has been created in our lab in France. In fact, we are really thrilled to introduce this innovative multi-purpose color stick that you may have already received from Mathilde. But if not, of course, do not hesitate to ask for this formula that I personally love. In fact, this multicolor stick is a versatile beauty essential that has been designed for your eyes, your cheeks, your lips. Basically, it's really packed with skin benefits and, in fact, perfectly aligns as well to the minimalism, but also the skinification trend thanks to its key ingredient, which is cacao oil. In fact, this multicolor sticks offers powerful antioxidant, but also anti-aging benefits. In fact, it leverages from the natural properties of cacao oil to nourish, rejuvenate the skin, but it's also complementing with other star ingredients that we have in this formulation. As you can see, it's very natural, more than 96%. It includes an innovative bio-based cationic surfactant system called Cosmic Green ES 1822 Plus that in fact provide exceptional emulsification properties, but also gives this luxurious texture that in fact has been also given by the GD Esteris 70, that is jojoba ester, that will really work here as a consistency agent. As you can see, we have also put in a synergetic effect two film formers that have water-resistant properties, which are Saboderm PDA and Solomase Natural. So these two ingredients will in fact ensure that your makeup will remain flawless, I would say, and long-lasting throughout the day. And then we have also, for the vibrancy of the color, a blend of high-quality pigment dispersion from P2 Science that deliver this rich and lasting shades that will, I'm sure, enhance your natural beauty. So this formulation can be in fact declined, I would say, in other type of formula. If you don't want to use pigment in it, you can really work with it, adding also maybe a kind of powder just to have a blurring effect, and maybe use it as a just skincare stick. So I think you can really go creative with this one, but for sure the main ingredient here, as you can see, is the cacao oil. So we really encourage you to test it, try it, and we are here to help for sure from the lab if you have any question on this formula. Maybe a few words about your commercial info. So for Benelux, your product manager is Mathilde Monster. She will be here to answer any question you may have, asking for quotation, if you need to receive any samples. And for sure, we have also our website that is available 24/7 with our product catalog online, where you will find more information about the cacao oil and also have a direct discussion with Mathilde. So I think we are all done with this webinar. Thank you, Camila. I will leave you the end word if you want to say something. From my side, I thank you for just like being here with us in this nice discussion. And for sure, we will meet you during the different trade show locally. And I will leave you the final word.
Perfect. So thank you very much, Morian, for your words. And thank you, everyone, for being here. We are a company that wants to be part of a trustful and sustainable revolution with an outstanding, innovative, and differentiated ingredient. Hope you enjoyed the presentation and take care.
Thank you very much.